Hello. After taking LAB 720, I know exactly what I would want to do if I were to be in charge of professional development. So, in my district, I have 7 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, one comprehensive high school, one continuation high school, and then we are currently building our second comprehensive high school. With all of those schools in such a big district, I am the only teacher librarian. So that means that at all of our elementary and middles, and I don't know as far as our next high school, I am the only one that is credentialed to teach and also credentialed to be in the library. The amazing people that are in the libraries at the elementary schools currently and the middle schools are media techs. Again, amazing people, but they are not coming in with a teaching credential and they are not coming in with a library credential. So I think it would be really important to get on the same page for everything because I think that having the same rules and structure and feel for these students that get to be with us from elementary school all the way through high school, I think is really valid and important. But also just the legality of everything. I think it's incredibly important for all of us to know legal ramifications for everything that we do in this position. So, going more in depth for the PD, I think that I would set it up exactly like we set up the manual. So, I would start with policies and procedures, just talking about what the district overall says about the library. Um, what we agree upon. Like I said in a previous video, I went in and I gave some criteria. I definitely think that if I were to present at a PD, I would already have had that approved by the board. So I wouldn't be standing up and presenting, these are my opinions. I would want to represent what the board has come up with. So first step in that, I think, would be to have an informal meeting with the media tech so that we could actually present together. Everybody can find value in what we're presenting and ownership in what we're presenting. So for the PD again, I would start with policy and procedures, go into the reconsideration policy. I know that we've had one book that has not officially been challenged but has been discussed, and in the meeting it was the current teacher librarian, even though it was not questioned at the high school, it was actually questioned at one of the middle schools, and then our director of secondary education. I think, again, it would be great for all of the media techs and the teacher librarian to be on the same page as far as if a book happens to be challenged, what is our process? Everything from informal communication with the parent all the way to if it really does become an official challenge, what are our steps? I'd also love to dive into responsibilities. I think that this is incredibly important, especially for new media techs or new teacher librarians. This is my second year in the library, and I'm still figuring out what exactly my role is and is not in the library. I also think that I would do a section on maintenance. Again, that was definitely learning on the job. I figured out how to go in and fix books, and I think that it would be incredibly important for our new teacher librarians and or media techs to have some PD on that. Also, I would want to look at how we get funding, and once we do have funding, how do you place an order? Again, a lot of my first year was trial and error and figuring out, okay, I can't pull from this budget, I can from this. This is a reimbursement, this is a PO. I think it would be so incredibly beneficial for everybody to be on the same page. And also, it will streamline and make all of our purchases more comprehensive to the people in the district office that's processing all of our requests. I think that an entire section on cataloging would be incredibly important. Again, I'm talking about presenting at a PD. I would never spring this on the media techs. I would want their input ahead of time so that we can decide as a group, is it more beneficial for elementary students to have a certain type of cataloging? Then is it more beneficial to shift into something for secondary, including the middle schools and the high school? So at this point, when I would be presenting at a PD, there would already be an agreement amongst the shareholders, and then this would be more of a presentation to let everybody know We're all on the same page. This is how we are proceeding forward. I would probably end with the idea of really looking at and honing in on intellectual freedom and talking about how we are our job really as teacher librarians or media techs is to not indoctrinate students. It's not to present a one side story to anything. We really are there to open up the world for these students. And so I would love to end with a conversation about self censorship. I would love to end with a conversation about making sure that our libraries are equitable, making sure that we are providing students the resources that they need and that they deserve so that they can continue to develop their intellectual freedom.